So Tron Ares is the third and latest installment in the Tron franchise, 15 years after Tron Legacy, and it follows a highly sophisticated program called Ares, played by Jared Leto, who is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission, making humankind's first encounter with AI beings. So just for a bit of background about me, Tron Legacy came out in 2010 when I was 4 years old, and I watched it in the theaters, in the cinemas with my family, and I absolutely loved it. That movie holds a very special place in my heart, and that's the movie that made me go, I want to watch more movies. I want to watch more movies in the cinemas. I want to go to the cinemas more often. Like that is the movie that made me a film fan. And I know that's gonna be weird for some people. I know, but the visuals, the music, watching Tron Legacy in the cinema late at night, it changed the way the it altered my brain chemistry. It did. So yeah, that's the movie that made me love watching movies. So yeah, it's a very fond memory of mine. Tron Legacy might be one of my most rewatched movies ever. I rewatch that every now and then, and I still love it until now. So yeah, I guess you could say I'm a big fan of this. I love Tron Legacy. I really really do, and I remember watching Tron after I watched Tron Legacy, and I also really liked it. I also really like Tron because my dad's a big fan of this franchise too. And yeah, so here we are 15 years later. I've been waiting for a Tron movie for a long ass time ever since. And here we are, finally, 15 years later. So to start off, I guess it's a Tron movie. I think we all know what we want. We're all expecting how's the visuals. We all want to know how the visuals are. It's a Tron movie, of course. We're expecting the visuals to be good, and I think Tron Ares holds up that end of the stick. The visuals, the sound design, and the music, absolutely amazing. I think on a technical level, this movie is a cinematic experience. It's a gorgeous movie filled with enough style. You can absolutely hear and feel the light cycles as they race through the streets, the discs as they're thrown, the neon colors once again making a comeback, which I absolutely love from Tron Legacy. You can feel the magnitude of the grid, you can feel the scale of the grid, of the recognizers. And I love that. The designs are different, yet they still feel familiar. Yeah, the visuals, I think, absolutely top notch, absolutely amazing. I think they delivered on that aspect. The music, also amazing. 9 Inch Nails. 9 Inch Nails. Their soundtrack might just be my favorite part of this movie. Genuinely. They did an absolutely amazing job following up Daft Punk from Tron Legacy. So, yeah. So, just a little story actually. When they announced they were making a third Tron movie, it was around the time that Daft Punk announced that they were splitting up. So, when they announced that they were making a third movie, I was like, oh my God, Daft Punk isn't going to make the music anymore. So, in my mind, and I even told my brother this, the best thing they can do in that situation is to get 9 Inch Nails to make the music for the third Tron movie. And like that was all I thought. I was like, 9 Inch Nails needs to make the music for the next Tron movie. And when they announced, like a couple years later, when they announced that 9 Inch Nails was actually gonna make the music for the third movie, I lost my shit. That was insane. I absolutely lost my fucking shit. That's the next best thing because I love Daft Punk's music in Tron Legacy. Like I think Daft Punk did an absolutely phenomenal job with the music of Tron Legacy. Like I would put Tron Legacy's soundtrack as like in my top three favorite movie soundtracks of all time. Like genuinely, I love that shit. So yeah, that was the thing I was most excited for actually when it comes to Tron Ares. Like 9 Inch Nails music. I want to see how they would follow up Daft Punk. And I like I said, they did an absolutely amazing job. They absolutely delivered. And yeah, the music is amazing. And like I said, it's also probably my favorite aspect of the movie. And it does a lot of the heavy lifting in this movie in a lot of scenes because unfortunately, this movie is let down by an absolutely weak script. The visuals are amazing. The sound design is great. The music is amazing too. But the script and the story is very thin and very weak. This is an incredibly underwritten movie filled with absolutely underwritten characters. I found it frustrating even at one point because the movie presents some pretty interesting ideas and themes that just don't ever really come into fruition. It's a very muddled and conflicting movie in the sense that it doesn't really know what kind of movie it wants to be. It doesn't know what it's going for. You know what I mean? Like minor spoilers, actually, minor spoilers, just to give you a little bit of context. If you don't want to skip to like the time frame I'm gonna give on whichever side of the screen. Minor spoilers. There's this storyline where in this movie, there's a storyline in this movie where a program suddenly feels human. He suddenly starts to act human, and he suddenly wants to become human. Then there's this storyline where these characters have to get this MacGuffin thingy, and then there's this at one point the movie becomes this fish out of water type of plot. It becomes this fish out of the water type of plot, and it's like I kept in my mind I kept saying, what movie are you trying to be? Like genuinely. Um I found it pretty frustrating. Jared Leto's character, Ares, I think had the most interesting thing going for him character wise, but it's so surface level when they explore it. Like it could have been a pretty compelling storyline if they just knew how to handle it. This was probably the most frustrating thing for me because I was actually pretty interested in Ares's character. I think in the whole crisis that he undergoes in this movie, but it that whole thing kind of just goes nowhere, and I was like, oh man, that's wasted potential, genuinely. This like in general, this whole movie is just so surface level. It it just is. They never fully commit. They never fully explore the ideas that they're presenting, and it kind of I just couldn't shake that off. You know, you also see in the trailers that the programs go to the real world. That's like one of the things that it's like one of the main things that this movie's trying to market. Oh, programs go to the real world, and that's such an interesting idea, in my opinion. It really is. Like you you can see that in Tron Legacy. That's what like Clue was trying to do. So it was an interesting idea to see these programs go into the real world, but it just doesn't work in this movie. I would have preferred if this movie was just took place entirely in the grid, like Tron Legacy, since the real world stuff in this movie is just not interesting at all for me. Like there are scenes set in the grid in this movie, and whenever it goes back to the real world, I just found myself yearning for the grid. I'm like, go back to the grid. I don't care about the real world shit. I really don't. Just go back to the fucking grid. And I get that you want to do something different. Because, yeah, 15 years later, third movie, I get it. You want to do something different. But at least make it interesting. At least give us interesting characters. Give us an interesting story. But you don't. And it's just, oh my God. So you're not even going to give us the grid. So you're just stuck in the real world with uninteresting characters and an uninteresting story. You're not even gonna give us the grid. Like I'll admit I love Tron Legacy, right? But I'll admit it's not exactly the strongest script. I'll admit it's a pretty straightforward story. Son, father son relationship. Son wants to bring father back after he's been missing for a lot of years. It's a pretty straightforward story, but it works. It's a simple story, but it works for Tron Legacy because it's one of those movies that's like, oh, set in one night type of movie. And it works. It's compelling enough. You get invested in the characters. You get invested in Sam wanting to bring Kevin back into the real world. You get invested in that, and it's a plus that you're in the grid. You're just you're the visuals are amazing in that movie, and you get to see it for the entirety of the movie. Whereas in Tron Ares, it's like we're barely in the grid. Like you're giving us a very simple, a very how do I say it? Very simple story that has no depth, and it's in the real world. You're not even gonna give us the grid, and yeah. The action was okay. Most of it worked for me, but there was one sequence in particular that I kind of found stupid, and I just didn't find it believable. So minor spoilers. Just skip to the time frame I'm gonna give here or here, wherever. So in the first light cycle chase in this movie, I just found it dumb how a human was outmaneuvering two of the most advanced AI programs in the world. Like, huh? Uh, yeah, I just didn't find that believable. But there's an action sequence in the grid that I found pretty cool. I just wish that this whole movie was just set in the grid, man. The humor too, I found to be absolutely out of place. It's like those TikToks where people make fun of like that comic relief guy in movies who are just there to say some pretty stupid one-liners. Yeah, that happens in this movie, and like I said, I did not know what they were going for in this movie. I did not know. I really don't. It's a very muddled movie. The antagonist in this movie, played by Evan Peters, is so one-dimensional and has absolutely no depth and lacks any real motivation. Like, absolutely underwritten. But at the same time, Evan Peters gives my favorite performance in the entire movie. Like, genuinely, he's really good in this movie. He's absolutely like great. He was really good. He was able to give his character some sense of personality. And throughout the movie, I just couldn't. I just kept on saying to myself, I feel really bad for Evan Peters because he deserves a much better movie. He really does. He was carrying certain scenes for me. He really was. Uh, Greta Lee, Greta Lee's character, I also found to be absolutely bland, and and sadly, even though I think she's a great actress, I thought she was great in past lives. I found her performance to be bland. Also, I thought I just found her to be wooden. Jared Leto, I thought was okay, but I think with a better script, he could have delivered something better. Like, I don't hate Jared Leto. I actually think he's a great actor who's just been in bad movies. He's won an Oscar. Like, he's won an Oscar. I think he was great in Requiem for a Dream. Yeah, but on a on the personal side, eh. So yeah. So guys, overall, am I disappointed? Yes and no. No, because I'm just happy that we got another Tron movie after 15 years, especially because I thought Disney forgot that they own this IP. So yeah, I'm just happy that we got another Tron movie. But yes, I am disappointed because I have a feeling that we're never gonna get a Tron movie ever again. Because I have a pretty strong feeling that this movie just won't do well in the box office. Yeah, shit. So I guess closing remarks. If you're a Tron fan, you'll appreciate some things in this movie more than other people. Like, genuinely, there were some pretty good callbacks, and there's a whole sequence where I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. I really do like that." But at the same time, you're also gonna hate certain things in this movie more than other people. I'm gonna give Tron Ares a C. I'll say this much: I enjoyed it more than The Conjuring Last Rites. I don't hate this movie. I don't think it's terrible. I don't hate it. In fact, I can see a lot of people being entertained by this movie. I can see a lot of people having fun with this movie, and that's fine. And that's absolutely fine. I actually had quite a bit of fun watching this movie. It's not like actually don't regret watching this movie in the cinema. Like I said, I think the visuals, the sound, the music, yeah, I think that's worth the admission price. But a lot of the things in this movie, I just really couldn't shake off. So yeah. So yeah, that has been my review of Tron Ares. Check out my other reviews here and here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.